Hey guys, we're back after that last video. You saw us get a little bit frustrated with the mass airflow sensor problem on this 370Z. Steve came up with a crazy idea. We're just having lots of crazy ideas these days. Oh man, here we go. We are trying to remedy the evil math problem that we're having, and we realized that if you extend the range of the voltage by offsetting it with a resistor, that you might be able to extend the actual factory sensor. So
signal voltage.
Signal voltage.
Yeah. These sensors go higher than 5 volts. It's just the ECU stops reading at 5 volts. So if we throw a resistor on the signal wire, then we essentially reduce the resolution of the math, but we get more scale. So obviously we're gonna have to retune after this, but there is a calculation depending on how high you go on the resistance that you can, kind of get the math scaling in the ballpark. So we're about to try that, see how it goes. Busting our handy dandy voltmeter out here, we were able to determine that the center pin is the math signal.
Okay, that was actually like super simple. If you guys can see it, it's just sealed up in some clear heat shrink, but basically Steve added the resistor and just spliced between the wire, so now it will read differently and extend the voltage. I can't freaking believe it. You guys are never gonna believe this. There's actually little bits of snow falling on the ground right now. In Texas. It's like hard to see. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Oh my goodness, let me put this on real quick. Holy crap, I never thought this was a thing, but it's snowing in Texas. That's freaking crazy. Look, snowflake, more snowflakes. I'm sure nobody that lives in a state where it snows is amused, but this is Texas. It was like 70 2 days ago. This is crazy. Okay, so it's a little bit cold. Anyway. Made 390 now that we got the mass airflow sensors fixed. I want to say this was right around 8 pounds of boost. So that's pretty good. 390 and 300 torque at 8 pounds. I'll take it. So the next couple things we got to do is figure out where the rest of our restrictions and just kind of like how to continually optimize the turbo kit. Basically, if we continue to optimize it, changing one little thing at a time, I'm hoping to really get to the number we want, which another 100 horsepower would be great. So we're gonna keep trying. We'll see. We'll have to just see what we can come up with. This is just like a cheap Y piece. I don't know what they call this. But anyway, we wrapped it with some header wrap. It's a little bit bigger diameter. The actual factory one, ID, only measures like 1 5/8 at some points. This one is 2.5, so it's substantially bigger. Like, I would have no reason to think that it would ever need to be bigger than this. And I don't think we want too big, right? Because obviously, we still have to fill this pipe with boost before it gets to the turbo. So anyway, we installed this and we wrapped it to keep the heat in, and we'll see how that goes. And the next thing that we were thinking about is this area back here. Okay, so in this area back here, this factory cast Y piece kind of sucks, and it pushes over super wide and it runs into our boost piping here. We never really like the fitment. Like, it fits, but it could be better. My preference would be boost pipe on this side, exhaust pipe on this side. I feel like that would be more optimal. So I'm gonna look upstairs, see what kind of metal I have in stock, and see if I can build us a new rear section that has the Y farther back and closer to the turbos. If we do that, we'd probably be able to separate everything a little bit better. Although we still have like no issues with air temp. it's super cold. Like, I mean, I think the hottest air temp I've seen is about 95, and that's after just so much dynoing. So I just pulled down these rear V-band clamps that go right up into the T3 flange, and there's an immense amount of carbon on them. Like, so over V-bands right now. I'm gonna go ahead and take both of these off, and I'm gonna weld them solid. They're both stainless flanges, they'll weld up great. So I'm just gonna center them, weld them up. That should take care of like 2 more possible efficiency leaks. One day we'll get this whole project completely troubleshot. And we'll be super fast. Okay, we got that all welded up. I've got Jonathan tightening up the bolts, but that looks a ton better, and it definitely shouldn't leak, so. It's a little bit hard. If you guys ever tried welding like over your head, it's not so easy. But I was able to get them, thank goodness. Okay, on to the next thing. I don't know if any of you out there like 4-doors as much as I do. I like little hatchback cars and then long 4-door cars. I think long cars look really good when they're kind of low. Check this thing out. It's pretty dope. Automatic G37, pretty cool. It's in here getting some exhaust mods and a dyno tune and probably some spark plugs real quick too. But maybe I'll show you guys just my normal workflow and the kind of stuff I do in here every day. I'm gonna slap these parts on this car really quick, and then I'll do a baseline dyno, and maybe I'll show you guys what it makes. Obviously every dyno reads different. I get a lot of comments about like the low power numbers, but basically you just gotta compare apples to apples. So we'll make his first dyno tune, and we'll see what we pick up on the finishing like dyno pull. So let's go ahead and get this done really quick. Slam some stuff in here. Man, that thing looks so good. I'd definitely drive one of these if I could get one. All right, on to the work. So the baseline for this car, 246 horsepower. So we'll see what we can get from there. You just have to keep in mind that like every dyno reads a little different. All right, let's get into this tune. Okay, so I got done on the dyno with that G37, and I was gonna mention, like, we got on the dyno and the car was, it's having like just a ton of knock count, and I think he got some bad gas, so he's gonna try to sort that out and come back. So we didn't actually get to finish, but hopefully all your tuners out there are paying attention to stuff, because I could just started ripping on that thing and adding timing and getting aggressive with it, and it just wouldn't have handled it very well at all. So instead, you know, we put some new spark plugs in it and, you know, made sure other things were good, and now he'll go switch out the gas, he'll come back, I'll drive around with him and, you know, get some data on the car and see if it's still doing it, and just help him until he gets that problem sorted out, and then we can get back on the dyno and really make the potential, like, you know, of what that car can do all motor. So anyway, just pointing that out there. I think this is about it for the week. It's freaking been a cold one. If you guys have been cold out there, stay warm, stay inside, and hope we get to some warm weather pretty soon. Take it easy. I'll see you guys next week.